Alright guys, so how's she going tonight? So it's about, I don't know, 9 o'clock. I just got done eating. I haven't eaten too much today. It's just been kind of pushing hard on getting the tractor running and getting the building burned up. I got the piles are getting smaller, by the way. Probably got maybe another week to go before I'm done with that. I don't know. I can't really burn too much because it's too windy. I almost couldn't burn today because it was just borderline of being too windy to burn. So might try to burn again tomorrow, but whatever. So it is what it is. So give you guys an update on the little farm. Well, I know I did one. Yeah, well, you guys seen that video from today, I guess. I made it yesterday or whatever, but I had today anyway. My uncle and me. My uncle went up and got some of that JB. It's not JB Weld. I guess it's just JB. I think it's Justice Brothers or something. I don't fucking damn I know. It's JB, whatever the hell it is, but it's pretty much just like stuff you throw in your oil, and it just helps clean up the engine. Kind of. Again, it's like my Lucas stuff here, but this is, you put this in gas. That you put in the oil. So we did that way earlier. It ran for about an hour or two on just that one cylinder. Didn't help, but I mean it probably did a little bit. It probably helped clean up, whatever it could. So, but anyways, after that I've decided, I'm going to be done for a while. I wanted to quit. I was actually getting a headache because obviously running on one cylinder and it being straight piped, it's literally like punching yourself in the ear listening to that. So I was getting a headache, my ears were ringing. It was time to quit. So that's fully charged already. Son of a bitch. So but my uncle decided he was going to go back at it for a while. And, well, he adjusted the gap between, well, it's on the rocker arms. It's where the spring is at on the backside there. When your rocker arms go up and down, it's the spring side. I guess it'd be the valve. Or the exhaust and intake valves, the springs, like all that there. He says that the rocker arms were not adjusted correctly. They're still not adjusted correctly because we don't know what the gap should be. But he says that when he was tinkering with them, he said that when he would crank it over by hand, he says that at first you'd only feel the one cylinder. That's the cylinder that's creating compression, wanting to start. And then he says that when he would tinker with them, adjust them a little bit more, then he got another cylinder to do that. And then he just kept going down the line with them. So pretty much what it was is that the rocker arm adjustment, whatever, was off. I guess by quite a bit. I didn't think they were because I never tinkered with them. Like I never adjusted them. I just took them off the engine and put them back on. But I guess they must have got unadjusted either from me taking them off and on and putting them back on, whatever. Or it could have been just from the years of it sitting. things were just maybe they got out of alignment. And then he said another thing was, for a while there, he says that the rocker arms themselves, where they pivot on that, basically the shaft, he says a lot of them were stiff, which was kind of weird because when I had taken it off the engine, they were loose. They would swing. So something must have happened when I put it all back together, and everything just got stiff for some reason. So she's a runner. She is officially a runner now. She is running on all 4 cylinders. She's very fucking snappy now, which is great news. But there's still lots of things this tractor's going to need come next year. So, but we did. I did drive it myself a little bit. First time driving that tractor. I should have gotten it on video, but I didn't, just because I was too busy. And yeah, so I'll probably do it tomorrow or something. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. But my uncle said he wants to fine-tune the adjustments again. So, I guess the neighbor's taking off. So, but what he wants to know, and I need your guys' help with this, I did take a picture of the spring valve-y things. One set's supposed to be the exhaust, another set's supposed to be the intake. So what I'm going to do is, either if you guys can help me or not, maybe I'll try to Google it, but if you guys can help me, that'd be great. I'll put a picture. I took a picture of it, of that spring setup, and I'm going to number them 1 through whatever. And then I need you guys to tell me on each number what they're supposed to be gapped to, because there is supposed to be a gapness there, but not how much, we don't know. Right now we think we have too much of a gap, but we don't know for sure. So like I said, if I remember, I'll post a picture here and I'll number them 1 through whatever, and you guys can tell me by the number, like number 1 should be adjusted to however many inches or the gap or whatever, and so on. Because I'm not really sure, my uncle's not really sure either, but they do need to be readjusted. They were out of adjustment, I guess. That's why I wasn't running. And the fact that some of them were stuck. They were sticky. They weren't snapping back like they should. They were just kind of doing this and then stopping and then coming back. Like it was slower than it really should have been, which I didn't really notice when I was looking at it. So so I don't know. I guess I was wrong. I don't know, but I guess it should have been. I think somebody had even I can't remember if you guys suggested that or not. But, well, actually, I think what some of you guys are saying was that maybe they were sticking, like the actual valves themselves. No, they were moving. The rocker arm part of it was all out of adjustment. So that's why nothing was opening and closing like it really should have. So what was happening, I think, was either one was opening and one was closing, and that was kind of it, and it was letting compression leak through. I don't know, but that's pretty much that's obviously the reason why I wasn't running, because we were dumping the compression out before it could even do anything. So, but so you can see, I'm not really a mechanic. I mean, it's just, yeah, the only way you're going to learn is just to do shit, but I don't know. It's kind of nerve-wracking to me. So I do need to order some books on that tractor. I also need to order some for my uncle too. He wants some for his 400, like the operator's book, and then there's a parts book and stuff you can get. But there's so much money, and I can get the same thing for the grain truck too. So, but yeah, so it's a runner. It runs perfectly fine now. We still need to fine tune the adjustment on the gap between those doohickeys, but we're not really sure what they should be at. So yeah, and I didn't even know, but I guess my uncle, he did have a timing light. I guess you hook one end onto your spark plug wire, and then the other end, it's like a gun, really. It just has a big bright light on the end of it. I've seen videos on them. I've never really seen how they worked, so I wasn't really all that familiar with them. But I didn't even know he had one. I've been wondering if I should get one myself, but yeah, he had one, I guess. So we did that, and they were all getting spark, and it was all correct, So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. So it's a damn story, though. It's a hell of a story, because I didn't think there was really anything wrong, because I didn't really adjust any of that. I just took it off the engine, and that was it. I didn't tinker with it. So unless it just either over the years it adjusted itself, or being moved around, or who knows. I don't know, but somehow it got out of whack. So, but right now we have it adjusted enough to where it's running, but she's still very smoky. Like when you rev it up, and you go from a dead idle all the way to maximum RPMs, she'll definitely roll the smoke. Might be normal for it because it hasn't ran for so long, but but yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It's we put it pretty much back together. We left the hood off because my uncle still wants to tinker with it some more yet, and he's obviously going to be kind of waiting for feedback from you guys to what we should do, what the gap should be. I guess he's got gap gauges, I guess, that work for that, I guess. So, but he needs to know what the gap would be. It's a very small amount, obviously, but we don't know the true numbers. Like I said, we could look it up online, but and I might do that tonight if I remember. But you guys can still go ahead and leave it down there in the description. Or better yet, you can give me a link to a website that has that. So if you guys happen to know of one, if you don't, well, whatever. I'm sure I could find it online somewhere. I don't know if Case IH might have it. I know they have stuff with these old tractors too, but you'd have to get so deep into that, but I don't know. So but yeah, so she's still got a lot of blow by, and that's usually a sign that the engine is tired. So this tractor is tired. It still runs perfectly fine. It's still fairly strong from what it sounds like, but when it's got blow by like that, she's got tons of hours. I mean, like the 1586, that's got some blow by. Well, it's got 9,000 hours, so it's a sign that the engine's getting older and it's getting tired now. So, so the little farm there, Jenny, now that was his main tractor. My great grandparents' main tractor. That's what they used to cut hay, rake hay, move hay. It did everything. And then they got a Super H, I think, or something like that to kind of help out. And then a few years later, then he got rid of that, and then got this 400, and that's what we have now. So, but the little tractor was still always the cutter, because it had the cutter on it. That's another thing. We're not going to be able to use the cutter, obviously, because we don't have the lift for it anymore. We did take some parts off because they're in the way, and two, it's not usable. So A lot of things need to be replaced on this tractor. The seat seems to be a little wonky. I think we got a spring that's weak on one end, because when I sit on it, I feel like I'm leaning to one side. So it feels like it's kind of wore. I think there is a spring that's pretty played out, but you can still get the springs and everything for it. New seat. This one's, well, it's original, but it's just, it doesn't have a cushion or anything on it. So you can get seats nowadays with cushions on them. So I'm going to upgrade that. So at some point, I'll probably upgrade it to 12 volt, but that might get to be expensive. And then the neighbor here, he said that you could put a hydraulic pump on those tractors. I think they attach on the front of the engine, and it runs off that. You just have to put on a really long belt. And then you can have hydraulics that way for the lift, which might be an option for it. But for now, we're kind of just out of time. I mean, I'm going to tinker with it a little bit. My uncle did have a couple of quarts laying around of 80-90 oil, which is what I have here, but we just threw in a couple of quarts just so we can kind of drive it around a little bit. And I'm going to have to dump it anyway, because it looks like there was water in there at one time, because I took the screw out, the fill plug, and you can look down inside, and on top of, I think it was some kind of a bolt or something, you could see you can see a moisture spot on it. There's a, what do you want to fucking call those damn things? It's moisture. And it's milky color, so there's water in it. And that's pretty common for these old things. With every video I've watched on YouTube of guys doing maintenance on these tractors, they're like, just either they don't bother doing it, or water gets in, and then they fill it with water. But I don't think there's any water in there, period, because it leaks out, because it leaks all the oil out over time. So that's something else we're going to have to fix at some point too. Figure out where it's leaking, to figure out if we can fix that ourselves or not. So that'll have to be a thing we look into, but that probably won't be until who knows when, because I want to get other things done that are a little more priority, like the manifold, or the header as I call it, getting a muffler for it, just some little odds and ends like that, so it's just not so damn straight pipe and screaming and blowing my hearing out. So, but yeah, so like I said, I did drive it around a little bit. That's the first time ever I've driven that tractor. I've been on it when I was a little kid, but yeah, you know what, getting on that tractor is not that easy. That tractor is so small, it's like, it's not, I thought the 1586 was bad, I think this thing's worse. One, I don't remember how to get on there, or get onto the seat, because there's like different ways of doing it, but I got to be careful what I do so I don't blow my knee back out, so I have to be careful on how I get onto things. So, and then when you try to slip your legs down underneath the steering wheel to get to the pedals, well, the steering wheel is in my knee, my left knee, and then I couldn't move my left leg over too far, because then I had the control lever in my leg also, for the valve for the exhaust. So but we took that lever off for the valve thingy, because obviously we're not going to use it, so there's no sense of having it there anymore. So I just took it all off. There's no sense. We took some other parts off too. We're going to leave the cylinder on for now, because I think that's what's keeping it from hitting the ground. So we'll just keep that on for now. It's not in the way of nothing anyway, but yeah, I've never driven a tractor like that before. It's the first. I'm not used to the engine being off to the side like that. I'm always used to them being directly in front. So, but yeah, I did test the PTO a little bit. I just didn't run it hardly at all. I just enough to creak it a little bit, Seems to be working. So But yeah, I think tomorrow or something, I might check the transmission oil, see how that's looking, and if it needs to be dumped, we'll dump it. I imagine there's not much in there to begin with, but we got to get it out anyway. And then I'll put my stuff in, and I got to remember how much they said. I think it was 6 quarts, or was it 4 quarts? It says anywhere from 4 to 6 quarts just for the transmission, and then you need a half a quart for the PTO gearbox. They will get it eventually, but they recommend to throw in a little bit. I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be using the PTO anyway. By the time I do, they'll probably have oil of its own, but they just recommended that if you are going to use your PTO right away, to not let it run dry, even though it would eventually get oil. But since I'm not going to be using it, it doesn't matter. It'll eventually get oil anyway. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on. So pretty happy about that. But like I said, she is a little tired though. She needs to be the engine does need to be rebuilt because she does have some blow by, but it's not coming out like a river or anything. So, but it's definitely noticeable. It's just like the 1586. Just got a good little puff going on there. So, but whatever. So another thing I want to do, because this is going to be for the tractor as well. I got this old little oiling can. I need to degrease it and clean it up. That's going to be for the tractor. Because on those little tractors, you actually had the oil things. Like the starter, you actually had to throw in some oil every now and then. You could use something like that. There's just some other miscellaneous things too that you have to oil every once in a while. So, and it also is definitely going to need a grease job and some new front tires. The rear ones are questionable, but I think they will hold air for a while. They're still flat, but the front ones are completely destroyed. One's off the beat because we've been running it like that. And then the one back tire is flat, but I think it'll hold air. And the other one still seems to have air in it, so yeah. I guess I could put some air in it tomorrow or something too. Hey, kitty. What are you doing? I guess a cat came to visit. So yeah, other than that, I guess that's pretty much it. So yeah, she's definitely a runner. Unfortunately, we probably won't get to play with it too much this year. I'll probably just more or less just start it and let the engine run. That's about all I can do. So I don't know if I want to put oil in it or not this year. I'm not really sure what I want to do because it might leak it out over winter, and that'd be a fucking waste. So I don't know, but engine-wise, I think we're good enough. I do have to buy lots of other miscellaneous things. The oil pressure gauge doesn't work, so I got to order a new one of those. It ain't no damn big deal, though. They're like, what, 10, 15 bucks on Steiner's. There's lots of other little miscellaneous things that I have to buy. That will take time, obviously, but I got other things I have to do, unfortunately, for most of this winter. So I probably won't get much time to do any of that. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. I just wanted to let you guys know what the hell's going on. And Jenny is officially running on all fours. So, but I do need your guys' help with some adjustments. So, if I remember to edit that picture, I'll edit it in such a way maybe you can help me with it and whatever. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.